Hello, Ross here from Onside English, and we're going to have a look at 5 tips that will help you to improve your English for football purposes. So the first tip to take a look at would be context. Now, learning a language with context is incredibly important because it will increase your interest in learning and you will be able to remember things easier. So our context here would be football. We need to immerse ourselves in football English. So you can watch football shows in English. For example, Sky Sports Monday Night Football. They describe a lot of phrases and they run through some analysis. So this is very useful to learn and understand phrases in English. You can listen to football podcasts just to understand the words and phrases and sounds that comprise the English language. You can also read tactical books. Now you're going to pick up a lot of good, useful phrases when you read tactical books. Basic, simple phrases will become part of your mindset when speaking. Now the second tip would be to write your tactical analysis in English. So whenever you have your piece of paper, your pad, your tactical pad, write the phrases in English. Try to go through a thought process in English as opposed to your native tongue. It will make a lot of difference. Now you might not know the phrase or the correct phrase to use, but what you're doing is you're going through a thought process in English, so it's easier to then apply it when you start speaking. You should also observe things in English as well. This is a good technique to use. So when you see something, just try to think about what you see in English. The third tip sounds a little strange, but it is to make mistakes. I tell my students this all the time. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Now it's the same principle as a football coach. Your players will make mistakes, but you can practice and improve them things. It's the same as in the English language. There will be times when you make a mistake with your phrase, or you're concerned you're going to make a mistake. Make the mistake and then you'll be able to understand what the problem is. That's the first thing. Now to improve making the mistake, you'll probably need a teacher or someone you can talk to who will understand the mistake and show you the mistake. Another way to help correct mistakes is by watching TV shows, listening to podcasts, and then repeating the phrase. So you can use your mobile phone, you can use your laptop to just speak into and repeat the phrase. And listen back to make sure you use the words in the right way. So the fourth tip is to learn imperative phrases. This is really important to get your message across quickly. Now in football, you're probably not going to have a lot of time to explain things, unless of course you're in training or you're doing some analysis. If it's in a more fast-paced environment, you will need to explain things very, very quickly. So learning and using imperatives will help you. Now an imperative is a sentence that starts with a verb. So for example, go over there. Position yourself further back. Get forward. So you can see I'm using a verb every time I start my phrase or my sentence. And the final tip, and probably the most challenging, is to take an intensive course. Now, you may not have time, which can be complicated for sure, but I recommend 15 to 30 minutes a day with an intensive course. Treat it as if it was a season in football. You're not going to learn everything in one training session. You're just going to pick up little bits as you go along. So when you do an intensive course, you could do 30 minutes a day and just take a little bit of knowledge and then apply it. You're going to improve your accuracy. You're going to learn basic structures and phrases so you're easy to understand. And you're just going to familiarize yourself with the language. So it's really important that you do an intensive course. Just remember, it's not something you have to do for the rest of your life. It's just for a few months to get you to the level of where you need to be. For example, Unai Emery at Arsenal is doing an intensive course because his English was at a very, very low level when he first arrived. So he's doing this while he's coaching Arsenal. So it's definitely possible. So if you want to improve your English, check out the online free course that I have for football professionals at Onsite English. I'll include the link in the description below. So onsiteenglish.com. And my advice is immerse yourself in the language, keep practicing every day, and you'll get to the level that you wish to get to. See you next time.